say to my mom, who is there in the stands, I want to thank her for being the amazing woman that she is and for helping me become the woman that I am. And that goes to all mothers.
She said she had a lot to say, and every word she spoke proved it. What Eala did in the first few seconds after taking that microphone wasn't what anyone watching had expected from a 19-year-old who had just made history. She didn't scream, she didn't pump her fists into the desert air, she didn't drop to her knees or sprint toward the stands. She stood at the center of Stadium 1, looked out at 16,000 people who had been on their feet screaming her name for hours, and she chose to begin with the women who came before her. But before any of that, before a single word left her mouth, she did something that told you everything you needed to know about exactly who she is. She walked to the other side of the net. Coco Gauff had just retired from the match with a left arm injury, trailing 6-0, 2-0. The crowd was already roaring. The Pine Army, thousands of Filipino fans who had traveled from across the world to be in this California desert for exactly this kind of moment, was erupting in a way that rattled the stadium walls. Camera flashes going off everywhere, the noise overwhelming. And in the middle of all of it, Eala turned away from the celebration and crossed the entire court to check on the player she had just beaten. Not for the cameras, not because anyone in the stadium asked her to, not because some media trainer had told her it would look good. Because that is who she is, that is who she has always been. And that truth was visible to every single person in that building the moment she took that first step across the net. That one quiet walk told you everything that was coming next. When the microphone finally reached her, the stadium went quiet. Not the polite, managed quiet of a formal ceremony where the crowd is following a script. The real kind of quiet. The rare kind where 16,000 people collectively hold their breath because something in the air, something nobody can explain or manufacture, tells them they are about to witness something they won't be able to forget. That kind of quiet is earned. You cannot buy it and you cannot fake it. The crowd gave it to her because she had already given them something worth being silent for. She opened with Women's Day. She stood there in front of the entire watching world and chose to honor the women who built the sport she now plays at its highest level. The pioneers. The players who fought for equal prize money, equal coverage, equal respect in decades when none of that was guaranteed. Women who gave up enormous parts of their careers so that a girl like Eala could one day stand in a stadium like this and feel like she belonged there. It was not a prepared speech. It came directly from her, in the moment, without notes, without anything between her and the 16,000 people in front of her.
Amazing woman that she is and for helping me become the woman that I am. And that goes to all mothers. Yeah, so back to your question, I really didn't want to win this way, but this is still a really big moment for me to be able to play on Stadium 1 of Indian Wells and against such a great competitor. I'm really grateful to be here and I'm super happy. Yeah.
And then she turned to Coco Gauff. She called her an amazing competitor, a role model, someone she genuinely looks up to. And she looked directly at Coco, left arm wrapped, visibly in pain, visibly moved, and wished her a full and speedy recovery. Not quickly, not as a box to check before getting to the celebration. She meant it. And everyone in that stadium could feel the difference between performance and sincerity. Think about what that moment actually was. This was the same player Alex had faced in Dubai just weeks earlier, a match that had generated enormous media attention and plenty of speculation about tension between the two of them. The tennis press had been building a rivalry narrative for months, and here, on the biggest stage either of them had ever shared, with the full weight of the sport's attention on both of them, Alex didn't take a single opportunity to play into any of it. No posturing, no double meanings, nothing but genuine human warmth for someone who was hurting. The critics who had been sharpening their pens for a bitterness story got something they had no idea how to cover. And then, halfway through the speech, in a moment that stopped even the most seasoned tennis insiders in the building, she switched languages. She turned toward the Pine Army section, thousands of Filipino fans packed together, flags on their shoulders, faces painted, voices already raw from hours of chanting, and she shifted into Filipino. Maraming salamat sa inyong suporta. Thank you so much for your support. 16,000 people erupted all over again. Because she wasn't simply acknowledging them the way a player acknowledges a good crowd, she was speaking to them in the language of home. In a stadium in the California desert, surrounded by the global machinery of professional tennis, she looked at her people and spoke to them the way she would speak to them on a street in Manila. No management team approved that in advance. No sponsor wrote it into a brief. It came from somewhere real, from a place that no amount of money or coaching can create. But the moment that truly broke the internet didn't happen on the court at all.
Dito tayo sa California! Maraming salamat sa suporta at magkita tayo sa next round. Yeah.
Round of 16. At Indian Wells, the first Filipino player in history to reach the stage at this tournament, and she carried that weight without making it look like weight at all. Calm, certain, like she had always known this moment was coming and had simply been patient enough to wait for it to arrive. That confidence was not an accident. It was built over years, early mornings, long flights away from home, and matches played under the kind of pressure that most people her age will never understand. And through all of it, one constant: her family. Her mother, Riza, was in the front row. She had been there for every single point of the match. Every serve, every rally, every tense changeover. She had watched her daughter walk onto that court and do something no Filipino player had ever done at this tournament in its entire history. And now she was standing there, tears running down her face, not even trying to hold it together anymore. Alex made her way toward the stands. She leaned in close to her mother. And according to multiple reports from people standing nearby, she whispered 5 words into her mother's ear. "We did it for Papa."
What is the key to this success, not all of a sudden, but this kind of tennis that you're playing now? I know you owe it all to your mom, right?
And some to my dad too.
Let that sit for a moment. Because behind every pre-dawn practice session, behind every long-haul flight away from home, behind every match played under the weight of an entire nation's expectations, there was a family. There was a father. A man whose sacrifice and love and belief she has never forgotten, not for a single day of this journey, no matter how far from home she has traveled. And in the loudest, brightest, most public moment of her career to date, the very first thing she thought to do was make sure he knew it had all been worth it. Not the sponsors, not the rankings, not the record books, Papa. 250 million social media impressions in the first 24 hours. Fans in Manila, Davao, Cebu, Quezon City, and across the diaspora saw those 5 words travel across their feeds and felt something they couldn't quite put a name to. Not simply national pride, though that was there too, enormous and real, something older and quieter than pride. The feeling of recognizing in another person the exact weight you yourself have been carrying. The weight of family sacrifice. The weight of wanting to honor the people who gave everything so you could have a chance. Alex Eala carried all of that onto that court, and she still won.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I do my best to be humble and keep my feet on the ground because I am surrounded by so many amazing players, and tennis is a really humbling sport because you really learn how to lose and you learn to be self-aware, so I owe it all to tennis.
Inside the WTA locker room, the atmosphere afterward was noticeably different. Reports suggest that several top-ranked players watched the post-match interview from their hotel rooms and went very quiet in the hours that followed. One coach, speaking carefully, not for public attribution, described the situation in terms that had nothing to do with tennis technique. You can watch film on her serve, they said. You can study her movement and the patterns she defaults to under pressure, but you genuinely cannot prepare for what she does to a room when she speaks. You cannot draw up a tactical plan for a player whose character is bigger than her ranking. She hadn't just won a tennis match, she had altered the entire emotional atmosphere of the tournament in 45 seconds with a microphone and no notes. The top players in the draw are watching. Their coaches are watching. And what all of them are realizing, some reluctantly, some with genuine admiration, is that the crowd at Indian Wells no longer sees Eala as a promising outsider. They see someone who belongs at the center of everything, who was always supposed to be here. And then the stadium did something that nobody had planned, rehearsed, or authorized. Without any announcement over the speakers, without any cue from any official, without any coordination from any organizing body, 16,000 people began to sing the Philippine national anthem, unprompted, unrehearsed, in perfect unison, in the Coachella Valley. Even the MUPTA officials, professionals who have witnessed every variety of big event spectacle this sport can produce, reportedly stopped mid-step because this was not a crowd following a prompt. This was 16,000 people making a collective decision in the same instant to declare something. One witness said it didn't feel like a sporting event at all. It felt like a country had arrived in one place and decided. Without being asked to speak, Larry Ellison watched from his private suite. He didn't say anything, he just nodded. Because he has run this tournament for decades. He knows the difference between a memorable performance and something that changes the conversation permanently. He knew exactly what he was looking at. But the moment that silenced everyone happened away from the court. In a tunnel beneath the stadium, out of sight of every camera, Eala found her mother, and she finally stopped. Everything she had been holding together through 2 hours of the most important tennis of her life, through the retirement moment, through the on-court interview and the anthem and her name being chanted across the desert, all of it finally came loose. She walked into her mother's arms, not dramatically, not for any audience, just a daughter who had been strong for long enough. Riza held her, both of them beyond words, the noise of the stadium still fading somewhere far above them like something from another world entirely. This is the image that has traveled further than any match result, further than any ranking update or tournament record. Because it has nothing to do with tennis. It has everything to do with what it genuinely, personally, quietly costs to carry a nation's hope for years. And what it feels like when you finally, just for 1 minute, in a tunnel in California with your mother's arms around you, get to put it down.
Yeah.
All right, well, keep it up. Keep up the good work. Welcome to Indian Wells. Welcome to the big stage. You deserve to be here. Keep it up. Ladies and gentlemen, Alexandra Eala.
She deserves to be here. Not because someone gave her permission, not because the rankings finally caught up to what everyone watching already knew, but because she earned every single inch of this stage with her racket, with her character, and with the quiet, unshakable belief that carrying her people with her was never a burden. It was always the source. Eala is the first Filipino player in history to reach the round of 16 at Indian Wells. She did it at 19 years old. She did it for her father. She did it in front of 110 million people who have been waiting their entire lives to see one of their own stand in a place like this and belong there completely. And the Philippines will never forget it. The world is only just beginning to understand what that means. If this story moved you, hit like and subscribe. There is so much more of this journey ahead. A round of 16 clash, a nation that will not sleep, and a young woman who has already shown us that the scoreboard is never the whole story. You do not want to miss what comes next.